saying the
It's not like we were invited to go with you.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying it just seemed like there was an extra big smile on your face. Now, I did bring you something back.
Okay.
You want to come in here and grab it real quick? Give one to Gary?
Yeah.
Gary's back in the newsroom, isn't he?
Yeah, he has work to do.
All right. Yeah, he's got work to do. But if you come over here, grab this and maybe grab Gary's as well. I brought you a little nip bottle. So I said, give me an Irish whiskey that you can't get here in the States. That's yours. That's Gary's. Writer's Tears. I said, give me, because it was funny. They talked about all the different Irish whiskeys. We went to a distillery, and I asked our driver, okay, what do I need to get? He goes, no, this is what you need to bring back for the lads. So that's what he said. I said, I bring you back some Irish whiskey. So that's the Irish whiskey that I brought you back. Again, what's it called?
Writer's Tears Copper Pot Irish whiskey.
Yeah, we went to a distillery.
It's triple distilled, so it's gonna be strong.
So we went to a distillery. I had to jump out of it. Newsmax called and said, Rich, we want you to talk about the NFL draft. So I jumped on my phone and jumped on television on Saturday to talk about the draft. I didn't go through the whole distillery, and that's where I was going to get you something. So then I asked the bus driver, where do I want to go? And he took me, went to a bottle store, a package store. I don't know what they call it, off premise or something they call it in Ireland. But that's what I wanted to grab you.
That's good stuff. I'm going to try it.
Yeah. So it was so much fun. I'll just share this with everybody. The people at Colette took such great care of us. And it was everything that I could have expected and more. And like I said, the people that came along on the trip with us, you become family, Dave. Because you're traveling together. We had this beautiful, beautiful bus, motor coach, driven by Emmett. And if you go on News Radio WRVA's Instagram page and Facebook page, I actually sat down. I made him get on camera with me, interviewed him, and he told us all about driving around Ireland. And he was fantastic because, Dave, the roads in Ireland are tiny, like tiny. I don't know how these people manage to drive on these little itty bitty skinny roads.
And you had a gigantic bus.
We had a gigantic bus, and we're going around all these curves, and then people stop, and you're almost rubbing paint as they get through because the roads are so tiny. But a couple things I discovered. There's a lot of America. They love America in Ireland. Love America in Ireland. Everywhere you go, they claim all Irish Americans is Irish. So they love Reagan. They love JFK. They love everybody who's ever left Ireland, came to the United States through lineage. You're still Irish. They love you. So just about everywhere we went, every town has a tribute to JFK in their community. So they love Americans, and everybody's got a cousin that came to America. So I thought that was very interesting. They hate the English. They talk so much about Cromwell and the English that and all the lore of Ireland. So that was kind of interesting. I found out why there's so many redhead and freckled Irish people. Do you know why?
No.
The Vikings.
They were all red. Well, yeah, they would have been from Scandinavia.
So when the Vikings came in and they settled in Ireland, they mixed with the Irish people. That's why there's so many redheads and freckles in Ireland.
That's interesting.
They fought a lot of wars for independence. They've only won one.
Sometimes that's all you need to win.
Yeah, but they fought a lot of wars and they haven't won many of them. They talk about that quite a bit. They talk about the Normans that had come in. The Normans had been Vikings. They settled in France, became Christians, and then they came and conquered more. So that was rather interesting. We saw some beautiful Norman churches. Same way when we were in Italy, the Normans had come and conquered that part of the world as well. Beautiful Norman churches. We learned they're coming back and they're starting to speak their native language, Gaelic. So a lot of the signs are in English and Gaelic. So wow. I thought that was rather interesting. They love the United States. A lot of American culture there. Saw a lot of Yankee caps. Unfortunately, saw a lot of stupid Dodger caps because I hate the Dodgers. But they have every fast food you could possibly want. But they had something. They have a lot of American stores there, but they can't use the same name. So Primark is Pennies. and that's a store they have over there. They have
Well, they don't have Penny's there.
no, so they have Primark.
Even though Penny was the name of the guy that owned the store,
Right,
but
so that was kind of
yeah, so
confusing.
that's a little off.
But they have TJ Maxx.
Yeah.
There they have, I think it's TK Maxx. So it's American, but it just a little skewed differently. What else did I discover? Oh, the food. Now, people tell me, the food's going to be bad. I love the food because I'm a meat and potatoes guy, so they serve potatoes with everything. But I will tell you this, and I'm not running to be a Maha guy, make America healthy again. And I love my fast food and I love my Diet Cokes and everything. By the way, I was able to get Coke Zero and Diet Coke everywhere in Ireland, but they came in teeny tiny little bottles and they were expensive. So, I can get a 16-ounce Diet Coke, $2. They're 2 little 6-ounce bottles. I'd have to buy 2 of them because I drank so much. Be like $10.
Wow.
So it was
and
a
it'll
little
be that expensive.
Yeah, it was a little expensive for me to drink. And they did remember to bring me ice, but not enough. So that was interesting. But you could taste the difference in the food. So the hamburgers, I did go to McDonald's once, I go to Burger King once, and people are yelling at me online. I went to McDonald's just because we shopped so much and I didn't have time to sit down and go to a pub and eat. And then we went to Burger King because we had 20 minutes at a stop to grab something to eat at a truck stop on our way back over to Dublin. But it was very interesting. The beef was a lot leaner and the potatoes were a lot fresher. You could taste the difference in the food. And I'll be honest, Dave, I felt a lot better eating the food in Ireland than I do here. Sometimes you will go eat and afterwards you feel like, ugh.
Yeah, you're kind of bloated.
You're kind of bloated. I didn't get that way in Ireland. So I thought that was rather interesting. We did go to the original Irish pub, the Temple Bar in Dublin, and had a great time. It was awesome. And so now I understand their pub culture is you go to the pub, you sit there, there are all these little nooks and crannies, and then they have 2 guys in there just playing music, giving it a vibe. That was fun. I loved going to the pubs, and I went to Italy. Every corner had a bar. You go to Ireland, every corner had a pub, and there were 3 in between. That's part of their culture. You work hard, you go to church, and then you go to a pub, and that's where everyone socializes. So now I get what that pub culture is by experiencing it in Ireland. So that was awesome. That was really, really fun. So the whole trip was just tremendous. It was interesting to watch.
Men's Wellness.
It was interesting to watch the different way they take in the news. And by the way, I thought this was interesting. Almost every newscast was all about what goes on in Washington, D.C. Like if you watch the news here, we're not going to talk about the Prime Minister of Great Britain. We're not going to talk about the Premier of any other country. But you watch Sky News and the BBC, everything was about Donald Trump. And I thought that was fascinating that they pay as much attention, if not more, to our politics here in the States than they do to their own politics. In fact, Donald Trump and Keir Starmer, because Keir Starmer is about to be pushed out of office in Great Britain over the Epstein files, they were like neck and neck, 1 and 2, dominating their news. So it was just a lot of great stuff, a lot of shopping. Spent way too much money, but I'm proud to say that I helped their economy as much as I could, Dave.
Well, that's good of you.
Yeah.
That's what tourists are supposed to do.
Right. And that's why I'm wearing my Irish fisherman sweater today. Everywhere you go, everybody sells sweaters everywhere. So there's plenty of whiskey and sweaters in Ireland and Guinness.
That's enough for a party right there.
And Heineken. For whatever reason, every bar had a big Heineken sign in the middle of it as well. So anyway, it was just a great trip. Thanks to you guys for holding everything down. And like I said, it was so much fun. All right. Let's see. What else can I tell you? What do I got to do right now, Dave?
Men's Wellness.
Do I